The new confessions. I'm haunted every day by what I did as an economic hitman. I'm haunted by the lies I told back then about the World Bank. I'm haunted by the ways in which that bank, its sister organizations, and I empowered U.S. corporations to spread their cancerous tentacles across the planet. I'm haunted by the payoffs to the leaders of poor countries, the blackmail, and the threats that if they resisted, if they refused to accept loans that would enslave their countries in debt, the CIA's jackals would overthrow or assassinate them. I wake up sometimes to the horrifying images of heads of state, friends of mine, who died violent deaths because they refused to betray their people. Like Shakespeare's Lady Macbeth, symptom. I try to scrub the blood from beneath the surface, which was revealed in the original confessions of an economic hitman, has metastasized. It has spread from the economically developing countries to the United States and the rest of the world. It attacks the very foundations of democracy and the planet's life support systems. All the EHM and jackal tools, false economics, false promises, threats, bribes, extortion, debt, deception, coups, assassinations, unbridled military power, are used around the world today, even more than during the era I exposed more than a decade ago. Although this cancer has spread widely and deeply, most people still aren't aware of it. Yet all of us are impacted by the collapse it has caused. It has become the dominant system of economics, government, and society today. Fear and debt drive this system. We are hammered with messages that terrify us into believing that we must pay any price, assume any debt, to stop the enemies who, we are told, lurk at our doorsteps. The problem comes from somewhere else. Insurgents, terrorists, them. And its solution requires spending massive amounts of money on goods and services produced by what I call the corporatocracy, vast networks of corporations, banks, colluding governments, and the rich and powerful people tied to them. We go deeply into debt. Our country and its financial henchmen at the World Bank and its sister institutions coerce other countries to go deeply into debt. Debt enslaves us, and it enslaves those countries. These strategies have created a death economy, one based on wars or the threat of war, debt, and the rape of the Earth's resources. It is an unsustainable economy that depletes at ever-increasing rates the very resources upon which it depends, and at the same time poisons the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the foods we eat. Although the death economy is built on a form of capitalism, it is important to note that the word capitalism refers to an economic and political system in which trade and industry are controlled by private owners rather than the state. It includes local farmers' markets as well as this very dangerous form of global corporate capitalism, controlled by the corporatocracy, which is predatory by nature, has created a death economy and ultimately is self-destructive. I decided to write the new confessions of an economic hitman because things have changed so much during this past decade. The cancer has spread throughout the United States as well as the rest of the world. The rich have gotten richer and everyone else has gotten poorer in real terms. A powerful propaganda machine owned or controlled by the corporatocracy has spun its stories to convince us to accept a dogma that serves its interests, not ours. These stories contrive to convince us that we must embrace a system based on fear and debt, accumulating stuff, and dividing and conquering everyone who isn't us. The stories have sold us the lie that the EHM system will provide security and make us happy. Some would blame our current problems on an organized global conspiracy. I wish it were so simple. Although, as I point out later, there are hundreds of conspiracies, not just one grand conspiracy, that affect all of us. This EHM system is fueled by something far more dangerous than a global conspiracy. It is driven by concepts that have become accepted as gospel. We believe that all economic growth benefits humankind, and that the greater the growth, the more widespread the benefits. Similarly, we believe that those people who excel at stoking the fires of economic growth should be exalted and rewarded, while those born at the fringes are available for exploitation. And we believe that any means, including those used by today's EHMs and jackals, are justified to promote economic growth, preserve our comfortable, affluent Western way of life, and wage war against anyone, such as Islamic terrorists, who might threaten our economic well-being, comfort, and security. In response to readers' requests, I have added many new details and accounts of how we did our work during my time as an EHM, and I have clarified some points in the previously published chapters. More importantly, I have added an entirely new Part 5, which explains how the EHM game is played today, who today's economic hitmen are, who today's jackals are, and how their deceptions and tools are more far-reaching and enslaving now than ever. Also in response to readers' requests, Part 5 includes new chapters that reveal what it will take to overthrow the EHM system and specific tactics for doing so. The book ends with a section titled Documentation of EHM Activity, 2004 to 2015, which complements my personal story by offering detailed information for readers who want further proof of the issues covered in this book or who want to pursue these subjects in more depth. Despite all the bad news and the attempts of modern-day robber barons to steal our democracy and our planet, I am filled with hope. I know that when enough of us perceive the true workings of this EHM system, we will take the individual and collective actions necessary to control the cancer and restore our health. The new Confessions of an Economic Hitman reveals how the system works today and what you and I, all of us, can do to change it. Tom Paine inspired American revolutionaries when he wrote, "If there must be trouble, let it be in my day, that my child may have peace." Those words are as important today as they were in 1776. My goal in this new book is nothing less than Paine's: to inspire and empower us all to do whatever it takes to lead the way to peace for our children.